What's good, guys? Welcome back to a video on my second channel. What you guys are going to be watching is me creating my thumbnail that looks like this. So this is not necessarily a tutorial, but it's more so of how I make my thumbnails for my YouTube videos. They're more so geared towards gaming videos. If you want to see videos like this tailored towards videos that you make, leave a comment in the comment section below letting me know what kind of video or style of thumbnail you'd like to see, and I would more than gladly like to do that. But for today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my thumbnails for my gaming videos. If you enjoyed it at any moment in time, drop a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. So the first thing that you're going to want to do when you're creating a thumbnail is make sure you have all the components to do so. And when I say that, I mean all of your pictures that you want to use for your thumbnail. I usually take a photo of the gameplay itself, I take a photo of myself, and sometimes I'll grab a photo of the weapon I am using off of Google, or I'll pen tool out one of my own. So around 3 images per thumbnail is around my basic, but for this episode, for this video, I'm going to be using 2 photos, a photo of the background and then a photo of myself. What I do to get the dimensions of a thumbnail, I don't deal with the whole file new and typing in a file size. So what I do is I go file open, and I will open a snapshot of the video itself. So here is a quick grab from a video that I did today, and this is one of the photos that I want to use for the thumbnail. So I'll just open it, and I have a file that is a thumbnail size. I'll unlock it because it opens it as a locked background layer, so I unlock it so I can edit it, do whatever with it, and then I will go and find the image of myself to put on top. So excuse the image that we're going to use today. Don't mind my face, but this is the photo that we're going to use for this thumbnail today. So at this point, I have a thumbnail picture of myself, and then I have a picture of my gameplay. First things first, I'm going to pen tool myself out, and a little tip that I will give you guys when you are using the pen tool is if you want to make a sudden turn like this, but you made a curve beforehand like this. I hate this G-force shit, it's so annoying. So let's say you make a curve like this with the pen tool, and you want to make a sudden turn. It's going to do that. So what you have to do is you have to hold Alt and click on the last nub that you made. I don't know what those are called. Points. I don't know. And then you can make a sudden turn like that. It's really useful, and I use the pen tool for like 2 years of my life without knowing that. So now you guys know that. I'm just going to go ahead and pen tool myself out. And take your time if you need. It doesn't need to be perfect because odds are people aren't going to notice any mistakes that you make. And I rush this every single time. So I did all my pen tooling, as you guys can see, the blue outline. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to right click, make selection, and I know there's probably a way easier way to do this, but this is how I've taught myself. I'm going to Control C, Control V, and basically copy and paste myself. Now I can completely delete the image that I brought into Photoshop in the first place, and I'm left with myself cut out. So I'm not done yet with this. This is one of my biggest pet peeves. If you wear a headset or anything, you're going to have these openings here, where like the background will show through. So for the love of God, just please pen tool them out. It's 5 extra seconds, and you're not going to look like a complete nub without doing this. So create a selection like I just did, and then instead of copying and pasting, you're just going to hit the delete key. Delete, Control D. I'm now all pen tooled out. So I want to put my body over here in the thumbnail, but I'm facing like this direction, and I really don't like that. So I'm gonna like flip myself horizontal, right click, flip horizontal, easy peasy. I'm going to scale myself where I want to be in the thumbnail, and I think that looks good like that. So that's where I want to be in the thumbnail. I really want this photo of the optic weapon, the KN-44, to be above the text, above me, above the background, and it's the background image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pen tool out the KN-44 with the optic camo. So same thing as the photo of myself. I'm just going to close off the selection, right click, make selection, Control C, Control V, and I just copied and pasted the weapon itself. So I now have a photo of the weapon. Now I'm going to add some text. New thumb. If you hold Alt above your text, you can actually copy the layer once you drag off of it, And I'm just going to select this text, tutorial, tutorial, new thumb tutorial. And I'm going to change the font of this one to, we'll use Babas. Scale it up, do my thing with it, and then we're going to add some styles. If you hold shift while you're scaling it up and down, it's going to hold the same aspect ratio, and it won't do weird stuff like this, which you don't want when it comes to text, because it just looks like butt. Actually, no, I'm going to change the font of tutorial to a goofy one. This is like my go-to font for thumbnails. It's a little more goofy. And I like it. So my favorite combination of colors when it comes to thumbnail text is like yellow and white. I just don't know why, it catches my eye more than anything. So we're going to choose yellow for the top text and then white for the bottom text, and that is how we are going to do it. New thumb, we're gonna adjust the drop shadow of this one. There we go. I will put these a download to these styles in the description so you guys can mess around with them too. But yeah, so that is the text for this font right now. I'm gonna scale it up, I think, a little bit more. Move it up. It doesn't matter if it's like over top of you or the weapon. I will move myself over just a bit more so the text has more room. But what we're gonna do now is I really want the weapon above the text, but I want the text to still be readable. So we're just gonna kind of scale it and make it like so. So you can still read it, but the weapon is on top. So looking at this, it's kind of hard to see the weapon because the background is essentially the exact same weapon. It's bright, it's in your face. So what I usually like to do is I go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I just blur out the background ever so slightly. And then once I do that, I go Control U and I change the brightness of it, so whatever I put on top kind of pops out a little bit more. Since the weapon is on top of the text and the top of the background, I want to add a little bit more of, what's the word for it? Dimension, I guess, and add a drop shadow. You can mess around with your own settings however you like. This is just what I like to do. Now it's a little bit more off the text and off of the background, and I will do the same thing for myself. Now I look like I pop out just a tad more. Now what I would usually do is add some color. My favorite thing to do is start off with the blue like I have right here. Maybe make it just a little bit lighter. Hit the paintbrush, and I will make my thumbnail super duper small. Make sure you make a new layer so you're not drawing all over your good layers. And I will make I'll zoom out, so Control minus, and then I'll just add ever so slightly, add a glow. So I can just click. This is why I do it outside, because it'll just show up like that. So you can access the blend modes of a layer you're selected on right here. And I like to go to divide. I don't know why, I just do. So at this point, I would go Control U again. It'll bring up this menu, and I'll tweak it just a little bit so the contrast kind of fits my eye and what I'm thinking of. So I really like this. And if I want a little bit more color, I'll basically do the exact same thing on the other side, but do a different color. So I'll go blue here, go to divide, Control U, and I'll just add a different color. So on and so forth. I'll do purple, but then I'll turn the opacity down so it's not so like in your face as well. You can mess with all of these, like you don't have to do what I do. Like I mess with these all the time to do different things on my thumbnails. This is my favorite part right here, what you guys are about to witness. This is what I like to do with all my thumbnails. I have magic bullet photo looks, but I'm not gonna make a video on how I got it, so if you want it, you gotta go figure it out yourself. But this is my favorite part of making thumbnails for my YouTube videos. So make sure you're clicked on the top layer, hold shift, click on the bottom layer, and you now selected them all. I just drag and basically copy them all, and I will merge all of those layers together. So if we unclick all of the layers we previously just made, we now have a thumbnail. So if you hit crop now, you're gonna see all of the stuff that you zoomed in, and it's gonna be outside of the thumbnail. And when you use magic bullet, that does affect what you see on your screen as well. So we're just gonna crop it out so we no longer have anything on the outside, as you guys can see. So I will now go to filter, magic bullet, photo looks, and it's gonna bring up the best thing ever. So it keeps your settings, so I'm not gonna touch this, but this is essentially what it does to it. So I first add chromatic aberration. I then go to matte, add some diffusion right here. This is all up to you guys as to what you do as well. And then I do anamorphic flares. Just flares off the text. It looks really cool. I do color reversal. It adds a little bit more contrast and brightness. And then another chromatic aberration. And it kind of just makes everything pop. So when I hit finish, you guys will see the change that it makes all at once. See? That is what it does. I'll click everything back on so you guys can see. So it goes from this kind of thumbnail, which still looks pretty good in my opinion, to this. It just makes everything pop and look super duper cool. If you guys enjoyed this video at any moment in time, make sure you drop a like, you comment below, and subscribe. And if you would like to see any other thumbnail tutorials, whether it be for vlogs, anything, let me know. I will make those as well. But this is just how I do my thing. You don't have to follow this, but it's just a general how I make my thumbnails for my videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next creative video on this channel. Adios.